The reason you are an artist is because you have something so important to say. Marketing is just a tool to reach and connect with people. It's not icky, it's not cringe, it's neutral. It's a way to connect. It's a way to say hello to somebody. If you have felt like you are bothering people by talking about your artwork, this video is for you. Have you ever felt like you are posting into the void and nothing you post matters? Oh my gosh, that was me like 6 months ago, and I made a couple mindset shifts that really helped me start showing up for my art business, and I wanted to share those tips with you today. In the digital age, there is so much pressure to be constantly posting and all this nonsense. And I just kind of wanted to share with you a marketing approach that makes you feel like you're not constantly like chasing. If you are in a state of constantly chasing, you're not going to feel good about what you're doing, and if you're not feeling good about what you're doing, you're not going to keep doing it. And the end goal here is to really show up for yourself, show up for your art in the way that it deserves to be showed up for. The reason you are an artist is because you have something so important to say. Marketing is just a tool to reach and connect with people. It's not icky, it's not cringe, it's neutral. It's a way to connect. It's a way to say hello to somebody. It's not something where you're being salesy or annoying, you're not bothering anyone. If you have felt like you are bothering people by talking about your artwork, this video is for you. It is for the version of me that I used to be. Real quick before I forget, I wanted to let you know there are lots of cool links down in that description there, as they are in lots of little videos like this one. I have a shop online to collect some original watercolor paintings and prints. These paintings really celebrate the small joys in life. So if you need a reminder on your wall that the world does go on, I also have my Small Joys Club. So if you would like to receive a postcard print in the mail every single month with one small joy I discovered this month, definitely join there below. And then I also have my email newsletter. It is such a fun newsletter, guys. Listen, it's a totally free way to support me. And I'll tell you what, at the end of every newsletter, I reveal Tazo's shame. It is something naughty that my cat Tazo did this month. I'm gonna shame him on my email newsletter. And it's just a fun time. But anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. So these are the 3 mindset shifts that really changed the game for me when it comes to showing up for myself and my artwork. The first thing to remember is that you are not doing this to get something, you are doing this to give. You have to really believe in your why. In this case, for me, my why is to discover and spread the small joys of the world through artwork. And when I post, I have to remember that why. It's not to get attention, it's not to get all this stuff, it's rather because I genuinely and deeply believe that my work will help people. Once you kind of discover that, once you really start to believe in the work that you do, it becomes so much easier to share it, because when you share it, you are thinking about how many people that you will help through doing this. You have to really remember that people love art and they love artists. When you share your artwork, people are sitting there behind their phone screen going, oh my gosh, this is so cool, this is awesome. You really have to believe that. You have to start to remember that you are not a burden, you are not a bothersome person, you're not annoying when you share your art. So that is the first thing, that if you don't feel that in your chest, you have to start making some mindset changes, mindset shifts and growth, so that you can start believing that for yourself. One of my favorite YouTube channels that really helped me get to that point of really believing in my worth, believing in my message, is this channel called Manifest with Genevieve. I'll link her below. But oh my gosh, her videos are just like crazy helpful when it comes to wanting to step into something new in your life. I lived a completely different life before I really started my art business seriously. I was in this corporate 9-to-5, like just draining my life away, all while this voice in the back of my head was going, I want to be an artist. I want to be an artist. And you have, like, when you have that in your head, if you're watching this video, you likely do have it in your head. You have to start honoring that. You have to honor what you want in life in order to really start feeling fulfilled. So that's number one. Your mindset shift needs to change from I am bothering people, I am annoying, into I am helping people. People will benefit so much from seeing my artwork. My artwork is important. My voice is important. You have to shift. You have to really feel it in your chest, that second one. So the next tip that I have, and I really started to see a shift when I really started to build my brand, is when I started implementing this, is to really start to view your content, your short form content on Instagram and TikTok, as a story. Every single piece of content you put out there is a sentence inside your story. Everything should weave together. It should all tell the same thing. Something that I struggled with in the beginning of content creation is because short form content is so easy to kind of make. You can make it so quickly. You can make so many different kinds of things, right? I would constantly create different kinds of stuff that appeal to different kinds of people, whatever I impulsively wanted to make at the moment. But when I really started to see a shift, when I really started to build my brand, is when I started implementing this. Everything that you produce is a sentence inside your story, so that when people come back to your page, they see more of the same. They see more of you saying the same thing. They begin to internalize your face, your colors, your imagery with your message, because your brand is the packaging for your message. YouTube is actually what really helped clarify this for me, because when I started making YouTube videos and I had to dedicate myself 6 to 8 hours minimum of making a YouTube video, that's a lot of labor. That's a lot of labor to commit to one piece of content, right? And it helped reframe short form content for me, because I can spend 10 minutes on creating an Instagram reel or TikTok. But when I started to view short form content, for instance, a YouTube video, in my opinion, is like a chapter of the book, whereas short form content is a sentence inside the chapter. Because think about it, when people are scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, they see you for maybe 6 seconds, maybe less. And they see that sandwiched in between every single other piece of content they're scrolling through. And they are scrolling likely for an hour. Maybe more. Maybe they're doom scrolling at 2 a.m. I have no idea. But if you have only 6 seconds with them and you have the opportunity to show up again or again, sandwiched in between all this other stuff, it can get very confusing to mentally digest. If you are constantly saying the same thing, that is what will create the pattern in their mind. Think about some of the Instagram, TikTok accounts that you might follow. You will think of their face and immediately think about one thing, the one thing that they do. For example, one of my favorites is Advice with Erin. Immediately when I see her face, I think career advice. Or like this couple's TikTok, like Hunter and Maya, I think it is. Oh my gosh, I can't remember names. But I immediately think healthy, happy relationship. So you have to really make sure that every single time you show up, that the core message about what you're saying leads to the same thing. Imagine a story that you're writing that all weaves together to tell the same story. That is messaging. That is clarity within your messaging. If you want another video on how to get clear on messaging, and I hate saying get clear on messaging because everybody says that these days. But if you want my take on how to find messaging, let me know in the comments and I might make a video about it. The last tip that I have is to define your metric of success. Hint here, it will not be your like count or your view count. Absolutely will not be that. When you fixate on like count or view count, you will so quickly get discouraged, so quickly. Your worth does not rest within the number on the screen. Numbers are worthless. Numbers do not tell you the full picture. Numbers do not define your success. Instead, good metrics are, did I post consistently? If I look at everything I posted in the last 2 weeks, is the messaging clear? Is the messaging the same? If I did that, if I showed up at all, boom, check mark, that's my success. We are playing the long game. We are playing brand awareness. We are not playing give and take. This is not transactional. This is about awareness and it's about connection. Other metrics of success that are very important to me when I do look at metrics on Instagram are things like, did anyone comment on this video? Did the video create connection? Did it cause someone to remember something in their life and then they comment something below like, hey, this happened to me? That is a very good metric of success. Did anyone swipe up on your story, or does anyone talk to you? Did this piece of content create any conversation? Like, did a friend of yours respond to it and say something? Like, that is success in my opinion. It is maintaining conversation, maintaining connection, and maintaining your awareness in the front of their mind, because you don't realize how much of a long game you're playing here. You're not playing so that every single time you post you get insert validation. You are playing so that by posting consistently, when someone happens to need your service or product, you are the one that comes to their mind. That's what you're wanting to happen here when it comes to marketing. The number of people subscribed, liking, or viewing your content does not matter. It is an invisible screen in front of what matters, and you have to let go of that, because otherwise you will just get so discouraged. It will be an endless chasing game, because nothing you ever achieve will ever be enough for you, because you will always be wanting more likes, more views, more everything. You have to really focus in on the fact that behind the number is a person, and that person, that connection with that person, that single person, is what's important here. For example, I made my first ever international art sale through a YouTube channel that had 29 subscribers. That is just like, that blew my mind. One person out of 29 people saw my content, found my sale, and took home 3 paintings. Like, and if I were to go out and brag to the world, I have 29 subscribers, people would look at me like I'm crazy, right? But what the reality of that situation means is I have a connection with 29 people. If I'm in a room with 29 people and one of them might be interested in working with me, it really just illustrates the point that the number itself does not matter. All that matters is that you continue to show up for yourself and you continue to build your castle. This is going to be my last point, is building your castle. This is a metaphor that I learned from the book Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Mind-boggling book. If you are a creative person really struggling to find your life right now, you have to read this book. You have to read it. But there's a chapter that talks about sandcastles. It talks about, I am the builder, not the castle. It talks about how it can be very tempting to spend all this time building a castle just to live inside it. But what's inevitable is the water will come in and sweep away your castle, and then you're gonna be left. You are not the castle, you are the builder. So when your castle inevitably falls, you just shrug. The castle can be taken, you can never be taken. So no matter what happens with my artwork, whatever happens in the void of content creation, when I throw things out in there, whatever happens there, does not matter, because I'm the builder. I can always make whatever I need to make. I cannot be taken from me. And so when I am posting, I view each piece of content as a brick in my castle. Does this brick belong? Do I believe in it for this one piece of content? If no one interacted, if no one liked this, would I still believe in this piece of content? If so, then I'm okay to post it. I hope that gives you a little bit of context for how to shift your mindset around your marketing, around showing up for yourself, around telling people, hey, I'm an artist. Look at my art. It's beautiful, because it is beautiful. You have something to share. I know it in my heart that you have something to share, and I can't wait to see you share it. If you share your artwork, comment it below, and maybe I'll check it on out. Maybe I want to support too. Maybe I want to see some artworks up in this household. As always, spending any amount of time here on this channel with me is a gift. I really, really do consider it a gift. Like, seriously though, seriously. And for that, this humble artist says thank you. Come on,